Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another tutorial on this twisted ribbon bracelet, and I also show you how to do these little like twisted cords at the beginning and end of your bracelet too, so you can like make it adjustable or whatever. For this video you will need to know how to do the different kinds of knots, so if you are unfamiliar with how to do those kinds of knots, I will leave my video explaining how to do the different kinds of knots in the description box so you can watch that for reference. And yeah, let's get right into it. To make this bracelet, you will need some embroidery floss. I get all of my embroidery floss from Michaels, and you're going to pick out 5 colors. Once you pick out your 5 colors, you'll need to cut a wingspan's length of thread of each of your colors, and then fold all your strings in half so that the ends will meet, and the other side has a loop at the top. You can start this bracelet however you want. I started my bracelet by doing this really cool little like twisted thing. I will show you how to do this by the end of the video. I always secure my bracelet down with a piece of tape, and now we're ready to start. Also, if you see this on my hand, I'm really sorry. I injured myself at work, okay? So go ahead and set up your strings in whatever order you want them to appear on the bracelet, and you're going to repeat the pattern since we have 2 strings of each color. So I have pink, orange, yellow, blue, purple, and then pink, orange, yellow, blue, purple again. So normally we will like mirror them, but this time we're just gonna repeat the colors all the way in order. Start on the left side of your bracelet and take the very outer string, and you're gonna cross this outer string over top of your second string in line and wrap the tail underneath and pull it through, and then pull it to the top, and do that twice. And then you're just going to repeat doing all those forward knots all the way down your line of strings until you get to the other end of your bracelet. So I just did forward knots with my pink string on all of my other strings. Okay, so this part's a bit confusing, but now we're going to go back to the left side of our bracelet in the beginning. Take your first 2 set of strings and set the rest of your strings aside. You're going to take the second outer string, which for me is this yellow string. So my orange one is my very outer string, and my yellow one is the string next to it. And we're going to take this yellow string, and you're going to cross this over top of your outer string to make a backwards 4 shape. And we're going to wrap this tail underneath and pull it through, and then pull it to the top and do it twice to make a backward knot. Now we're going to set this yellow string aside and pick up our next string in line, which is blue for me. And I'm still using my orange string, and now using the blue string, I'm going to do another backward knot over top of the orange, just like that. And I'm also going to do a backward knot over top of the yellow. Set the blue and the yellow strings aside, still using my orange string, and then the next inner string, which is my purple, I'm going to repeat this backwards knot step over top of the orange, yellow, and blue. You're going to keep doing backward knots using your next string in line and going down the rest of your strings that you already did a knot with. This bracelet does take up a lot of string because you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So if you ever find yourself doing a knot with 2 of the same color strings, hopefully by now you guys know that if you do have 2 of the same color strings, you can do any knot in the book that you want to do, because no matter what, the strings will end up in the same place and the knot will be the same color. So when this happens, I always like to see which string is longer, which for me is this one here, and then do the knot over top, or do my knot with the longer string. That way you're using the longer string, so the longer string will get shorter and you're using up more of the longer string, if that makes sense. So I did those backward knots with every single one of my strings, and now I have my outer string still out, and you're going to go ahead and do backward knots across every single one of your strings with this outer string here. So once you did that, now it's time to basically just do our same backward knot step, but on the right side this time. So I'm going to take my first 2 outer strings on the right side of my bracelet and set the rest of my strings aside. And I'm going to be using the second outer string, which is my yellow, and crossing that over top of the orange string, and then pulling the tail through and up to create a forwards knot. I'm going to do that twice. Set this yellow one aside, and now I'm going to grab my next string, which is the blue, and repeat this forward knot step on the orange string and the yellow. Set the yellow and the blue aside, taking my same orange string and my next string in line, which is my purple. I'm going to create forward knots over the orange, yellow, and blue. And just keep repeating the same step until you have gone through all of your strings. And there you have it. Go ahead and just repeat this from step 1, taking your first outer 2 strings on the left side and doing backward knots, and then doing backward knots across all the other strings. So once you've gotten your bracelet to its desired length, it's time to end it. I will show you how to do this little like twisted cord. So you can use this to make your bracelets adjustable, or just use this to like tie it around your wrist or whatever you want to do. So after you finish your bracelet, go ahead and tie all your strings in a knot, and then just separate your strings in half. And then start to take the 2 halves of your strings and begin to twist them. You're going to want to twist both of them in one direction, so I'm twisting to the left. And then whatever way you twisted, you're going to twist the opposite direction together. So I twisted each separate one to the left, and now when I twist them together, I'm going to twist them to the right. And then once you've gotten it to your desired length, then you can just tie it off in a little knot. And then from there, you can just cut off all of the extra strings, and bam. And then for the beginning, I just tied all my strings in a knot first, and then did the twisty thing, tied it in a knot again, and then I started the bracelet and did the bracelet, and then there we have the end. So alright guys, that was the tutorial. I hope you guys all liked this and make some really cute bracelets out of it. I love you all very much, and leave any suggestions or requests for video ideas in the comments so I can read them and see what you guys want to see, okay? Bye guys.